Hello everyone, I'm Chris. I like to talk about pop culture and/or hello everyone, I'm Chris and I have an onion. I don't know which one works better. I'm coming fresh from Mother's Day dinner. It was lovely. Had some ice cream and some cheese fries, which is always great. I have some tea. I'm trying to do tea right now. It's a green tea citrus burst. Smells nice. It's not done brewing, so I'll have that after I'm done talking to you guys. Today we're talking about Saturday Night Live and Elon Musk hosting. So, first of all, just to be very clear, I did not watch the whole thing, nor am I going to. I don't really think I need to watch the entirety of SNL to talk about that SNL episode to talk about the issues that it poses, right? I watched Miley Cyrus's performances, I watched Elon Musk's monologue, and I watched the Gen Z hospital skit. I did not watch the Wario skit. You cannot make me watch the Wario skit because Wario is my favorite Mario character, okay? The amount of times I played Wario Smooth Moves to the Wii growing up, I'm not watching this man desecrate Wario like that. I'm just not. Sorry. So I'm going to talk about those three things. I'm going to talk about Miley Cyrus's performances first. I'm going to talk about the monologue and Dogecoin, and then I'm going to talk about the Gen Z hospital sketch, and then I'm going to talk about kind of the problem with SNL overall that I've been seeing, not just now, but basically the entire time I've been alive. And I'm a quarter of a century old, so it's been a very long time that this has been happening. I shouldn't say that. Since I've been conscious, since I have had a conscious mind to be able to make my own thoughts and opinions, SNL has had problems. So, I will start with a positive first, because we all love positivity here, right? Which was Miley Cyrus's performances. So she performed Plastic Hearts and Without You with the kid Lori. I think that's what his name is. I wish she had sung 2 of her own songs. I wish she had done Plastic Hearts and maybe Prisoner or Plastic Hearts and Midnight Sky. But that's particularly because I don't like that Without You song. I know she's on the remix, so I know she was kind of promoting the remix and this like new talent. That probably wouldn't have gotten an SNL slot if he wasn't invited by Miley. Good for him. I don't like the song. However, I do think this like rock direction, this rock sound Miley's going in really suits her. And I feel like this is her lane. I feel like Miley, even like from like watching Hannah Montana to seeing her go through that We Can't Stop phase and then the banger, like all the crazy stuff, and now she's finally like arrived here. Like I feel like this is her lane. Like this is her area that she really thrives in, and I really hope that she stays kind of here because I really liked that album. I liked all the singles, and like, you know what? Like, she's doing great. Like, I'm proud of her for doing good. Let's go, Miley. That's all the positives I have to say. Now we're gonna move on to Elon Musk and his hosting capabilities. People have been talking about this for weeks since it's been announced. It was controversial, I know. I have 2 kind of philosophies that I follow here. One, wait until the thing happens before talking about it, right? That's why I'm not really talking about Butter, because it didn't happen yet. I don't know what the song sounds like. So I'm just waiting for it, right? And so I obviously, I shouldn't say obviously. I am not a fan of Elon Musk. I was not a fan of this decision, but it could have gone well. And then of course my overall channel philosophy, besides waiting for the thing to happen before commenting on it, is popular thing good. And Elon Musk is popular. I feel like that's a statement that's not like like people like this man for some reason. So I am going to attempt to say one good thing about Elon Musk right now. And it's that I do think he has a good sense of humor. Normally, I do think he has a good sense of humor. I think he's okay with joking about himself and what he does, and I think that's a good quality to have. Okay, I've complimented Elon Musk in this video. You cannot tell me that any of this is in bad faith. I just complimented him. Now, did I see any of his good sense of humor in his monologue last night? Absolutely not. But SNL in their monologues haven't really been funny for years, especially when the writer's room is stepping in and helping write versus when you have somebody who can write their own monologue. Think like a John Mulaney. And at this point, the writer's room has lost touch with the culture, which is more on that later. So I'm really gonna, like, his monologue and it being kind of unfunny, I'm kind of blaming that more on the writer's room and less on Elon Musk himself. Unless if it comes out that Elon wrote that himself, in which case, Elon, apparently you don't have as good a sense of humor as I think you do. Or you're just bad at writing jokes. It's possible to have a good sense of humor, but then, like, be bad at writing jokes. They're different skills. So with Elon Musk's monologue specifically, I want to touch on two things. The first one is that he said he was the first SNL host, this is a quote, he was the first SNL host to have Asperger's syndrome, or at least the first to admit it, and I would just like to congratulate him, because he's also the first union-busting billionaire to host SNL. Truly progress, guys. We're progressing. It's great, right? So to me, when I saw that, the comment on his diagnosis seems like it's a reference to, like, woke identity politics, where, like, the highlight of progress is just in the representation. It's just the representation. Great, you check off these boxes, congratulations, we've progressed as a society, right? Like, that's kind of what that represented to me. And, like, if the 2010s were highlighted by people with marginalized identities sharing their experiences, then the 2020s has to start by actually improving the material conditions of marginalized people. Elon Musk is a billionaire, and he has stopped Tesla employees from unionizing multiple times. His actions and business decisions matter way more to me than his autism. So, like, I'm judging this person on his decisions and actions. Hello, it's editing, Christina. I just want to add to that, right? It is important to me to acknowledge the struggle that autistic people have, particularly in a neurotypical society. It is important to me to improve the material conditions of all autistic people, people who have autism, across everywhere, the entire globe. I'm also somebody who is neurodiverse. I have dyslexia, which is a type of neurodiversity. It's not quite autism or ADHD, but it's a learning disability. And also, I can't fucking read. I can't, but it's rough sometimes. So it's important to me for neurodiverse people and autism, and everyone that falls under that umbrella to have proper access to resources and stuff, right? Elon Musk, as I explain later in the Dogecoin section, has always had access to resources to proper education for his type of learning, for proper, like, everything, right? I don't have to worry about Elon Musk having access to the resources he needs in order to have a good life, a prosperous life, I should say. That's not the case for all autistic people all over the place. So, again, that's why I'm judging this man and everyone on their actions, because you can tell a lot about a person by how they act. And Elon, when it comes to his business decisions, when it comes to his posting on Twitter, does not necessarily act in the most progressive way, or doesn't necessarily act in a way that has, anyone but himself in mind. The second thing I want to bring up about Elon Musk is him mentioning Dogecoin. So he mentioned it twice. He mentioned it once in the monologue and then during Weekend Update, although I did not watch Weekend Update. That's what all the articles are saying. But the important part, he mentioned it and then Dogecoin fell 30% after that, after he mentioned it on SNL. So that's fun. And, like, I don't want to harp on this, like, rich person billionaire thing, but I'm, like, absolutely gonna harp on that, right? The reason meme investments like Dogecoin are so popular is that traditional methods of investing are not accessible to millennials and Generation Z. Now, I'm going to put my disclaimer here. I am not invested in Dogecoin. That is not my investment style. I'm very much a throw money at a robo investor and keep going on with my life. That's my style. I don't pick individual stocks. I don't invest in meme stocks. Traditional methods of investing are not accessible to the younger generations as they were for Generation X and boomers. If you want my specific situation, I know this because I just did my taxes, so I was able to check. I made $24,000 in 2019. I made $30,000 in 2020. My student loan payments are a minimum of $12,000 a year. What money do I have to invest? What money do I have to invest in a traditional 401k? Where? Please tell me. Because it's not like I'm a big spender. I'm really not. So it's where? And I am one of the lucky ones, right? I'm one of the lucky ones because I have parents that can help me and want to help me and that I get along with. So I consider myself very, very lucky. And I'm not the only one in a situation like this. They're like, everyone I know is in a situation. Well, nearly everyone I know is in a situation like this, right? In situations like mine and like a ton of other people, a majority of people in my generation, a cryptocurrency like Dogecoin that's under $1 is really easy to just throw some money into. Like, it's easy to buy like an extra coffee if you have money that day. Like, it's easy to say, oh yeah, you know what, I'll run through the drive-thru on the way home instead of cooking dinner. It's really easy to make an investment like that with throwaway money that you have because you don't have a ton of money to actually really invest. So you just pick the meme cryptocurrency and take the gamble. Because it's fun to watch the lines go down, I guess. Elon Musk is not like that. He has never had the experience that I've had where I just outlined my terrible finances to you guys, right? He inherited his fortune from his parents who owned an emerald mine, right? He acquires companies to realize his dreams of continuing colonialism into space. And like, I am not touching that in this video. If you would like me to make a video about Elon Musk and his weird space colonialism, I can, but I'm not touching that in this video. But Elon Musk promoting Dogecoin on Twitter and SNL because of the meme is not the same as someone like me in my situation posting about Dogecoin. It's not. Elon Musk constantly getting into trouble with financial regulators is bad. It's not good. Like, it's not funny. It's not funny to be like, no, like, that's not funny. Those are the people that are supposed to be keeping him and his billions in check. He's not just another shit poster on Twitter, right? He is he's a man with an incredible amount of power who wants to also be a public figure, which is why he went on Joe Rogan the first time. That's why he's on SNL. And he is not somebody who uses his power or persona to better the material conditions of those less fortunate than he does. And that's why Elon Musk going on SNL, talking about Dogecoin, being a shithole, like, that's why he's not necessarily a revered figure. He is in some circles, but like, not here. Sorry. Elon Musk, if you see this, pay off my student loans. That's the end of the Elon Musk rant. And we're done ranting on him. And I really did mean it when I said he had a good sense of humor. And like, honestly, if we're gonna be really honest, like, this is probably the best case scenario. Because could you imagine if Jeff Bezos decided he wanted to do this? Or if Mark Zuckerberg was still trying to run for president? Like, could you imagine? Like, this is true. Like, if a billionaire if a billionaire had to do it, had to be a public figure, had to absolutely be, you know, in front of cameras like Elon Musk is, like, it could be worse. It could be worse. Last thing I want to touch on, that Gen Z hospital skit. So, this skit had the cast of SNL dressed up like Gen Z kids, bright hair, baggy clothes, you know how it goes. And then used a lot of internet slang. Please wait for me. internet slang to walk through like the plot of a soap opera episode where someone's mom got in a car accident and is passing away, right? Now, the problem is that they didn't actually use internet slang. They used African American Vernacular English, AAVE. And almost all of it was used incorrectly, and it was incredibly disrespectful to the millions of people who actually use AAVE on a daily basis. And it was not funny. It was bad. I didn't laugh. So, first things first, do not write skits or use AAVE if you don't know how to use it. Or if you're unsure how to use it, because otherwise it comes off as incredibly racist and condescending to, again, the millions of people that actually use that type of English every day. It's very simple. Making fun of it like this in SNL makes it seem less serious, makes it seem less like it's an actual way of speaking English, and more of a like, oh, the kids these days, right? And so then when people in power see sketches like this and go, oh, kids these days, they talk so funny, and then they come across somebody in real life that actually speaks like that, suddenly they're unprofessional and funny, right? And that's a theoretical situation, but like there is an actual connection between the art that is presented to us, because unfortunately that was an attempt at art. Somebody did write that sketch in an attempt to be creative, and our everyday decisions. It absolutely happens. So thanks. Second of all, particularly in regards to this skit and SNL as a whole, right? The SNL writers' room has lost touch with the cultural zeitgeist. It's been a lost cause for a very, very long time now. I cannot remember the last time SNL was actually funny. And I don't know who to blame this to. I don't know, but something is not clicking. It's not clicking, and it hasn't clicked for a while. But what's weird, SNL's in a really weird case because there are still things about it that are valuable and that do have an effect on us, right? A great SNL performance, even now, can really make someone's career. See Adele, see Alabama Shakes, even though Rage Against the Machine was a very long time ago and they've been banned from SNL, but like a good SNL performance can really like drum up a lot of noise. What am I saying? So in that sense, in like the music sense, it's really important for the music and performance world because it's a good avenue to really launch people into the wider cultural conversation. And on the other hand, if you're actually a really good comedian, SNL can push your career to new heights. Kate McKinnon, Michael Che, Leslie Jones, John Mulaney. John Mulaney wasn't ever an actor on SNL, but he was part of the writers' room. Will Ferrell was on SNL. Jimmy Fallon was on SNL, although some people would say he's not an exceptional talent. Whatever floats your vote, with Jimmy Fallon. Who else? There's like a ton of people. Like, there's a ton of people that have been cast members of SNL who have been Maya Rudolph, right? That have been really Tina Fey, Amy Poehler, right? Like, that have gotten really big careers because of what they did on SNL. So in that case, SNL still does give us something, but the show itself, the sketch comedy core of SNL is just refusing to evolve. And this is bad because millennials' humor is a little bit absurdist, but not as absurd as Gen Z's humor is. And SNL is not comfortable at presenting absurd humor at the moment. They need to get like absurd. Like, I think like the comedy trends and art trends for the next 10 years, because the trend cycle is shortening, but I really think the trend cycle for the next 10 years is just going to be like absurd comedy, right? Like, I need you to think of a meme, like if you've ever seen like a meme and it doesn't make any sense, like that type of stuff. And SNL needs to adopt fast. The other thing too that I want to mention about SNL, that I didn't write down in my notes, but SNL also affects the political arena a lot. A lot. And that their history of choosing bad hosts is not new, because if we all want to remember, I mean, I don't, but the 2016 election They put Baldwin on there to act like Trump. They had Trump host in 2016, and look at what happened. Look at what happened. So the same thing with Sarah Palin and Tina Fey. Like, you put Tina Fey on, you made fun of. Now, the difference between Tina Fey and Alec Baldwin is that Tina Fey was able to take Sarah Palin down and create the correct outcome. Am I showing that I'm a Democrat too much? Oh my gosh. They affect the politics. They affect politics. I really think that Jim Carrey coming in and playing Joe Biden a little bit, I think that helps Joe Biden. I think it did. People like Jim Carrey. People don't like Alec Baldwin. But people like Jim Carrey. Such a weird situation because it's in this place where it does affect our culture. In a lot of places, it does affect pop culture. It does affect what we talk about. We're talking about it right now, baby. Like, engagement, get those numbers up. But like, it's bad. It's not funny. The core of it is just not there anymore. It's like a rotten core. And I don't know how to fix it. I don't really like ending videos like this where I like don't know how to fix it, but like I genuinely, like, I don't know how to fix SNL to make it funny again. Do you need, like, genuinely the only thing I think of is that it's time for a new showrunner. Because the writers recycle pretty, like, there's different writers every season. But it's just, it's time for a new showrunner. Somebody who is going to be a little bit more on top of what younger people think is funny. And it's not even going to be hard, right? Now, I have no more script lets, so I'm going to just say this. It wouldn't even necessarily be hard because, like, kids my age and younger than me, we love John Mulaney. And John Mulaney's an SNL alum, right? We love John Mulaney, but John Mulaney's a little bit absurd because he's, like, standing up there. He has this, like, very, like, pompous, like, put together look, and then he's talking about, like, horses in hospitals and, like, himself at house parties and, like, jumping fences and stuff. He's really funny. Who else do we really like? You know what movie was good and none of you watched, and I will never forgive you for that? Andy Samberg and The Lonely Island had a movie called Pop Star that was really funny. When I went to the theater, it was me, my best friend, and 2 other people. No one else was in the theater, but that movie was hilarious. Go watch the movie. It was really funny. But it was absurd because Andy Samberg and the rest of the, I don't know the other names, I'm sorry, Lonely Island, but Andy Samberg and the Lonely Island guys, they put on these personas of these, like, over-the-top pop stars. And it was funny because they just kept going with it. And it was funny that way. And then there were a bunch of weird celebrity cameos, like... That's the other thing kids like too. Referential humor. Right? Remember when Georgia turned blue? And then also Destiel was canon? And people were finding out both of those things through memes about both? Kids, we like that. We like referential humor, right? If SNL can build a referential humor type thing, that is all for today. Thank you for watching. Make sure to like, comment, and subscribe. If you're an Elon Musk fanboy, make sure to tell me how much of a bitch I am. Looking forward to those comments. Twitter and TikTok are in the description. I will learn how YouTube Shorts works eventually to cross post my TikToks onto YouTube. But we'll see. Right now, the best place to get short form content for me is TikTok. And then you can follow my Twitter to see me rant, I guess. Anyways, thank you for watching. I will see you next Monday. Goodbye. I love you.